Welcome to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast.
My name is Jen Clark.
And I'm Elke Clark. We are a mother-daughter team who started our Zazzle e-commerce businesses over 10 years ago and have sold over $15 million worth and counting of products on Zazzle with our designs on them.
We had so many people asking us how we did this, so we created the Profit by Design Academy, a 12-month coaching program where you will implement the 5 strategies we have used for success on Zazzle.
When we aren't coaching our amazing clients to reach millions in sales on Zazzle, we love cooking food from places all over the world that we've traveled to, jet-setting to our next dream destination, spending quality time with our close friends and family, or having fun creating our next bestsellers in our own Zazzle businesses.
In this podcast, we share actionable steps you can take to make money in your online business using Zazzle. Each episode will take you one step closer to creating that perfect business, which will give you the freedom to live your dream life.
We believe that you can have anything you dream of as long as you work smarter, not harder. We're here to give you the tools you need to make your dream life happen. So let's get started. Well, hey there, it's Elke, and welcome to another episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast. And I am here today to talk to you about how to make money on Zazzle if you're not a creative. Yes, if you're looking for an online way to make money that's passive income that will give you monthly cash flow, then Zazzle is a very unknown but lucrative opportunity for you to make money online, even if you're not creative. If you don't know how to make designs or you don't know how to do artwork or photography, you as a creative, you as a non-creative can actually make money on the Zazzle platform. And we have 2 people that I'm going to talk about today that are proof of that, because they are people that came into the business, looked for this as an opportunity to make money online that was substantial, 6 figures. That's what they wanted to make per year. And they wanted something that was more passive because they both have really demanding jobs and they wanted to do this as a side hustle. And also they wanted something that was long-term that would allow them to continue to create that passive income flow, even though they're not working once they've set the business up. And yes, there are other print-on-demand companies. There's Amazon Merch, there's Etsy, there's Shopify, there's KDP, Amazon Publishing. There's so many ways to make money online in some way or another. But the Zazzle platform, which is a print-on-demand company, is very different than other print-on-demand companies like Redbubble, Society6, Teespring, you name it, all of those t-shirt type companies that are out there. And also Zazzle goes beyond the myth that the only way to make money on a print-on-demand company is through selling t-shirts. There are so many other ways that you can make money on the Zazzle platform, including the examples of Jen and I, both of us, who have made over $1.5 million combined on the Zazzle platform, don't really sell t-shirts. We sell everything else that Zazzle offers. In fact, there's over 4,500 products on the Zazzle marketplace that you can post your designs on and sell. This allows you then to have incredible opportunity to make money on an online platform. And the whole business model is that basically you're in charge of putting on the designs and marketing them properly in terms of proper title and tagging them and doing promotion. But then Zazzle does the rest. They are the people who take care of things to start with, because all you have to do is sign up and start for free on the platform, whereas they host the platform, they draw the customers, 15 million per month. And then they also source all the products, they make all the connections with the suppliers and the printers. And they also have their own unique, registered and trademarked printing process, which is really amazing. So they can print as well, but obviously they also source out to have printing done on other products. But that's all done for you. You don't have to worry about that. You just start a store, put up your account, your store, and then put up products. And these products are all virtual products. So you don't have to put any cash layout to initially post and market and sell products. It's only you gets a royalty payment for the efforts that you put in virtually without you having to do any investment except for your time and maybe whatever it takes you to create or buy a computer or a tablet or whatever so that you can be on the platform or using your device. The other thing that we're going to talk about is the small investment that you might have to make if you want to do things without creating any sort of designs or graphics on your own. But that's easily overcome, and I'm going to give you some really great tips for that. So are you excited? Are you ready? Even though you're not a creative and you're going I really want to take part in this platform, but I didn't really know what to post. We are here to help you. I am here to help you. And with our training with Jen and I, my daughter, who is, part of our coaching program and also does her own Zazzle store. She's a gold pro designer on Zazzle. I'm a diamond pro designer, but that doesn't even mean anything anymore because that's $500,000 in lifetime earnings. Whereas obviously I'm like a triple diamond. I'm way above that. Okay. So the key here is that you're here. You heard about the Zazzle. Everyone's having a great time. So many people are making money. How do you get in on it? And you don't feel that you're creative enough to offer something on the platform that would create the business that you want that's going to give you 5 to 6 figures. So I'm going to tell you about that. I'm going to show you how it's possible for you. And I'm going to show you 2 examples of people that were in that situation and overcame it and how they overcame it. So let's get started. So first of all, I want you to know how you can make money on the Zazzle platform because there's actually 2 different ways. And one of the ways is actually very lucrative for you just as a non-creative anyway. You don't even have to deal with any creation or putting anything up for sale. You can just promote what's already on the platform. And Zazzle gives you 15% royalty or affiliate payout, which is the referral fee for you promoting products that are on the Zazzle marketplace already. That includes brand names like Disney and Peanuts and Marvel and you name it. Go check it out, Zazzle.com. And then you'll see that there's a huge opportunity for you to promote things that are brand names that are just going to sell themselves, right? You just have to bring in the traffic to the Zazzle marketplace, and it's super easy. You're pinned on Pinterest. You can create a blog. You can have a Facebook group with all these special interest groups that you can then target to get people to then be interested in knowing that you're going to provide the service of, hey, look at this cool product, or guess what, there's a sale on, or hey, this is, if you're a Disney lover or a Peanuts lover, go check out these designs, right? And so you can see how it can become very easy to market, especially if you're already involved in that niche and that's one of your favorite niche or niche that you are interested in. Then it's really easy to find a way, whether that's through your Instagram account, your Facebook page, your Facebook group, if you want to make a private group, or your blog, or your website. And those are ways that you can then derive traffic from those places to the Zazzle marketplace. And with the special link, the affiliate link, then if someone buys anything, not just the link that you sent them with and the product that you sent them to, but anything on the marketplace, then you will get a 15% commission, right? Cool. So you can make a lot of money that way. Obviously, I can't make any income claim statements, but there are people that are doing that, and they've been doing that since Zazzle started, which is way back in 2005. So you've got a lot of opportunity and a lot of history to show that it's possible. All right. The other way to make money is to receive a royalty. And what the royalty is basically Zazzle is licensing out your product design that you made and that you put on particular products in your store. So you have to be involved, right? It's not like a licensing deal where the creative is going to, go, like the graphic designer goes to and applies to be part of this licensing program and be picked up like by Pottery Barn or by like any other sort of I don't want to go into that because this is not about licensing, but the idea here is that it's just, there are licensing companies out there that create merchandise. And so they hire the graphic designer. The graphic designer is supposed to, do X, Y, Z in terms of specific designs because the license company has decided that this is what's going to be popular and this is what they want to put their money into and invest and sell and all that stuff. And so they're just, you as a designer would be just supplying the graphics, right? And then you get a commission for whenever something sells based on the structure of the deal that you've set up with your licensed partner. But on Zazzle, they're also your licensed partner, but they don't have this deal. The only deal is that you have to do the work, and then you set your royalty somewhere between 5 to 99%. And obviously, if you put it at 99%, you might price yourself out of the market because the royalty is in addition to the base price. But on the other hand, it gives you that flexibility to not only set your own royalty, but also to decide what you're going to make and when you're going to make it and how many things you're going to make. And so this is the lucrative opportunity that we teach a lot about in our coaching program. And it's the thing that our current top earners, which I'm going to talk about later, they've really taken advantage of that based on our training. And now they're seeing and reaping the rewards with 6-figure income years. And then obviously there's more to it than that. But this is the whole point, is that you can make money with royalties. And it's such an easy way to become sort of a licensee of the Zazzle platform because all you have to do is sign up and it's free. So the hard part is that you have to make a decision on what you're going to post for sale, right? So what designs do you make? And if you're not a creative, then of course you just kind of go, well, obviously that's not for me. And I'm going to say, no, that's actually a story that you're telling yourself. And unless you know, which is what I'm going to talk to you about right now, you wouldn't know that that opportunity actually exists for you. But it does, because we're here to help you. We have the support. And even here in this podcast, you're going to hear some of the basics in terms of what it is that you could easily do right now and start on the Zazzle platform, even though you're not a creative. So let's go into those. Well, what can you do to create those designs to post on for sale to get the royalties? And again, like I said, some people post the royalties, or set them at anywhere from 5 to, I would suggest about 20% at the most, but I like 10% because that's a nice, easy royalty. It gives me all the chance in the world to sell at a competitive rate. And I've been making quite a bit of money already that way. And I don't have to add more royalty into the whole thing because it's where my sales, like that, I like the amount that I get in terms of my royalty payouts every month because I have a certain inventory that sells for me consistently. But the idea here is that you just have to decide what graphics to put up and to decide on that royalty and then do the work, right? And so how do you get those graphics? Let's start with that. Well, first of all, you can hire a graphic designer. Super, super easy. What you can do is some of the research online first to see what that graphic designer should design for you, because they're not in charge of figuring out what designs will sell for you. They're just going to do the work, right? So this is where you come in and make that decision. You can do some research, or you can become part of our coaching program, and then we can help you with that research and also tell you more specifically which markets are really flourishing on the Zazzle marketplace and where you can put your efforts so that you don't waste any time. But obviously, you can also do some of this on your own, where you can go and look at all the other platforms, such as Amazon Merch and Etsy and Society6, and of course, Zazzle. And then you will be able to see the niches that are trending, the types of designs that are selling in that niche. And then you'll give your graphic designer that you hire through Upwork, and you can get a reasonable designer that can design, a whole bunch of designs for you, whether it's on an hourly basis or on a per design basis. You can set that contract up really easily and spend, a couple, like in the tens to 20s to hundreds of dollars to get those designs, but the payout will be so much higher, right? So, because those designs will be yours and you can use them over and over again. And so it's up to you how much you want to spend initially. But as you move forward, you're going to realize that even though that might seem like some investment to start with that you weren't interested in trying right away, it's well worth the investment because the payoff is so much higher, right? Especially if you do your research so that you don't feel like you're wasting money because you're not just throwing spaghetti against the wall, you're actually intentionally creating products. Now, obviously, once you get those designs from the graphic designer, then you have to learn a little bit about how to use them and upload them onto the products in the Zazzle marketplace. And so the idea here is that whether you want to do that on your own, you can just go look at the edit tool that Zazzle has, and you can see how that works. You can decide if you want to do that or if you need some help. And again, that could be easily done by signing up with one of our courses or trainings because we show you step by step how to do that and do it really effectively. But on your own, you can also just use the edit tool, follow the instructions. It says upload an image, upload a text, and then it'll walk you through it, everything. And as simple as it is, it may overwhelm you because there's a lot of options there, but the basics in terms of what you can use in those options is really straightforward, right? Upload an image, upload the image. Put it on a product, say done, post for sale. That's easy to do, right? And so there you go. You're all done. You've posted your first image for sale on a product in the marketplace, and it's in your store, and that's also filtered into the Zazzle marketplace. And so you've got a product up for sale. Awesome, right? You didn't have to do any graphics yourself. You just had to decide what those graphics were going to be, what niche they were going to serve, and then you got a graphic designer to do the work. You just have that image, you use it as a thumbnail or as a JPEG or a PNG, which are two different types of files that you can then upload to your image file on Zazzle, and you can do the posting the product for sale step by step with adding your image, and then you're good to go, right? So that's one thing. Another thing is instead of being that involved in the graphic design process and getting someone to do that work for you, you can also just buy the graphics, right? There are lots of people that are on Etsy that, just as a caution though, not every place where you can buy graphics allows you purchasing it to use it commercially on Zazzle, right? There are people that say, yeah, sure, you can use it for commercial use, but you have to make sure that it's also possible to use it specifically on the Zazzle marketplace. There's a distinction. So, but once you've got that figured out, and Etsy is a great place to go, Etsy.com, to find those people that are willing to say, yes, it's definitely okay to use your graphic on the Zazzle platform, or their graphic, sorry. And then you can just pay the licensing fee and the payment for the graphic itself, and then you can download it from Etsy, upload it onto your Zazzle platform, and do the same thing that I said when you're doing it from using the graphics from your graphic designer, is to just use that edit tool to upload your image and upload it onto a product and then post it for sale. Easy peasy, right? Okay, so then the next thing is to get training in the design process. And this is actually, all three of these are what the two people that I'm going to talk about next did. They did they hired a graphic designer for some things, but then they also realized that there were graphics for sale, so they did that, and they bought them. And then also they went and took our Profit by Design Academy training program, which is not only a course, but it's also a coaching program. And it covers both the business side of things and managing and strategy and mindset, but it also covers how to make a design properly and how to design it properly onto the product on the Zazzle marketplace. And using the design tool, which initially when I said it was quite complex, there's a reason for that, because on the Zazzle marketplace, there's an opportunity for customers to actually customize the design that you added. So whether they want to add text, or they want to add a photo, or they want to literally play around with the design as to the orientation and so on of the actual graphic that you put up there, then that would be an opportunity for you to engage in a lot more customers than you would if it was just an option to buy the product with the graphic as is. And so by learning all of that, these two people who have now become top earners in our coaching program, you really leverage this because of our training, And that's what we do too. That's how we've made it the possibility of us having, out of all of the sales on the Zazzle platform, we're responsible for $15 million worth of that, Jen and I. So it's one of these things where you go like, wow, you know what? I'm running a multi-million-dollar business just by opening up a Zazzle store and putting products up and like being very hands-off on the business, just making sure that I have products up there that are sellable and I've labeled them properly so people can find them. And I think that's like a huge aha moment for a lot of people, because most people think it's a lot of work, and most people think it's a scam. Most people think it's not possible to be sustainable. But Jen and I have been working on Zazzle for the last 14 years, and it's our income. It's basically been our staple. It's helped us through good times and bad times. And honestly, like Jen, maybe, but me, no, I wasn't initially creative. I taught myself. And so the fact that you are listening to this as a non-creative, just give yourself that grace to say, let's just see how this goes. Maybe it's a possibility for me, especially if I get Elke and Jen's training and I'm supported and people will and then there's all these options to buy graphics or to hire someone. And there's all this option to look at what's trending. So it's not like I just have to invent the wheel over again. And so I can just tap into this. And that's exactly the message I want to have you hear today. I want you to hear that you can just tap into this business model quite easily without, obviously still have to do some work, but it's not as hard as starting from scratch and developing your own brand or creating designs that need to be something that people really want. There's so many opportunities here where you can just, as I call it, slip in to the business. And I love that because it allows you as a non-creative to open up a world of possibilities that you didn't know existed for yourself. And that monthly cash flow is wonderful. And I'll explain why in a minute, because there's actually something I want to tell you about Brandon, who's one of the people that I'm going to talk about. And what he just told me actually today while I'm recording this podcast. I know we batch the podcast, so, when you're hearing this, it's going to be around March 1st, I think. But I'm hearing this on February 11th, and it is a really great piece of news.
Have you heard about the Profit by Design Academy coaching program yet?
Are you a new or current Zazzle designer who is struggling to figure out how to make Zazzle work for you? Worried that you're wasting your time using the throw spaghetti against the wall to see if it sticks method? And unsure how you can start and scale your Zazzle business to reach your first 5K month?
Then the Profit by Design Academy coaching program is the perfect solution for you. You will feel confident, supported, and clear on how to create your dream Zazzle business.
Imagine having the exact 5 strategies that we use to build and scale our Zazzle businesses, which have sold over $15 million worth of Zazzle products so far.
And it's not just us. The 5 strategies taught in the Profit by Design Academy coaching program and the coaching support have helped our clients sell over $6 million worth of Zazzle products so far.
Head to the show notes to grab the link and we'll see you inside the Profit by Design Academy coaching program. Now let's get back to the show. Okay, so let's move into the 2 people that I want to talk about. So we're going to do 2 case studies. We're going to cover Christine and Brandon. So let's start with Christine. She lives in the Philippines. She works with her mom and dad in her family business where it's long hours. She has to open the store and be in the store. And then when she came home, then she would work sometimes from 11 till 1 in the morning because that was her only time that she had to create her side hustle business. And even though the business that her parents have is quite successful, Christine really likes to travel, and she also really wanted to prove to herself that she could create her own independent online business all on her own. And so Zazzle was the perfect platform, even though initially she didn't really want or know that that was going to be her platform. And she tried so many different things. In fact, she started with the intention that she was just going to be an affiliate of Zazzle, just like I told you, as one of the ways that you can be making money on Zazzle without being creative was to be an affiliate. And Christine really didn't have any background in training in terms of, training or background in art or graphic design or anything like that. but she had a lot of business knowledge, right? She obviously worked with her parents in a store. And even though it wasn't related to what Zazzle offers, it obviously gave her that business sense of what's needed to run a business. And so the problem, though, was that she didn't know how to run a Zazzle business. And until from 2016, I'm just going to look at the numbers here. And then she just put her blog up, and then she drove traffic to her blog. And on her blog, she promoted Zazzle products. And by doing that in 2016, when she did things on her own, she made $132. That's it. Now, in the Philippines, that's actually a lot of money. So she wasn't even too worried that that wasn't more, right? But for 2 years worth of work, and to earn only $132 US, in North American standards, that's not a lot, right? Whereas in the Philippines, that could be someone's monthly salary. So she thought she was doing really great until she started hearing what Jen and I do and what we were making on the Zazzle platform at that time. And so because of that, she was really curious, and she decided to join our Profit by Design Academy, which back then was called something else, but it still taught the same things, which is the core 5 strategies that Jen and I use to create the wealth that we do have on the Zazzle platform. And so she started with us in 2017 and did whatever the training told her to do. And now this is not a get-rich-quick scheme, so please do not expect like $100,000 in your first month. But what is really important is that she built the business up based on what our training is. And instead of us, how can I say this? I reached my first $100,000 year 5 years after starting on Zazzle, because I didn't know what I was doing. I had to figure it out on my own. I made a lot of errors and mistakes, and I actually literally had to go get business training because there was no Zazzle training at the time. And so I had to figure it out and create a business online using the Zazzle platform. And those are the 5 strategies that I teach now that worked for me. When I got to my 100K month, I'm going like, this is obviously working. And then I made 100K and 100K and 100K year after year after year. But what was the key here with Christine is that by using the Profit by Design Academy and the 5 strategies and following the training and receiving the coaching, she made her first $100,000 3 years later in 2020, which is awesome, right? So she cut a lot of years too off of my record, and then has now superseded, because now she's even made $150,000 in 2021. And this is not sales. This is profit. This is the amount of money that she received payout in US dollars from Zazzle as her royalties, which is awesome. There's royalties and affiliate income in there. So I have to distinguish that, because especially since I talked about that at the beginning of the episode. But the idea here is that the majority of her earnings came from royalties. And so I want you to understand that as a non-creative, when Christine, used graphic designers and bought graphics and used those to upload onto designs and sell and create the royalty income, that was a huge benefit for her, because it wasn't all affiliate income. It was actually, the majority of it was royalty income. Even though you can set your royalty at a lower amount, it's the sales volume and the royalties that are the bread and butter, right? The affiliate income is great if it works for you, but it's very challenging because there's a huge competitive market. You have to drive your own traffic, and it's a lot easier to get the royalty income than it is the referral or affiliate income. And so by doing that strategy, which is what we teach in the Profit by Design Academy, Christine has really benefited from that exceedingly well at a very quick rate. And so we're really excited for her, because she wants to go to school in New York. And actually, I heard that she got accepted. Yay. And now she's actually going to learn how to do graphic design and business management. But she has like a lot of, medals on her already, in terms of kudos that she has managed to create a business online within 4 years that has generated over $300,000 for her in royalty payouts and referral payouts. So that means that she sold over $3 million worth of Zazzle products. And because she sets her royalty at 10% for the most part, she has made $300,000 in lifetime earnings. And that's US dollars. So I'm so excited that she's willing to share that earnings ability with us and all those numbers, because it really helps you as a non-creative who's just starting out in this business to see what's a possibility for you, right? And I'm really grateful because, you can listen to me and say, okay, well, Elke made this much money, but you don't, like when someone else does it, who's been a student and a coaching client of ours, then it kind of is more real, right? Even though we are perfectly real people, we still sell in the Zazzle marketplace. It's still a very important income source for me and for Jen. And so it actually sometimes frustrating when people go and say, oh, Elke's teaching now, and so we can just copy all her stuff, which is actually against the law. But what's really important is that there's room for not just Jen and Elke. There's room for others who started more recently. And even some of our clients that started in the last 2-3 years, they're all doing really, really well. It's just I'm showcasing Christine and Brendan today. But that's so important for you to hear that because it's social proof, right? It means that there's more than just one person who's able to do this. There's many. And so that means that you have a better chance than others, than you would in some other business, right? And obviously, what Christine and Brandon earn is not typical. They are our top earners at this point, even though there are others who are earning as well, but I can't talk about them because they want their privacy. But on the other hand, not everyone in our program is doing that well. So please remember that. And it's really up to you as to how you decide what you want out of the program and also what you want out of Zazzle, right? Maybe we have some other students who are perfectly happy with our Profit by Design Academy, but they're not making as much, but they're getting the freedom that they want. They're getting the time freedom they want. They're getting the location freedom they want. They're getting the financial freedom that they want, even though it's not the big bucks, right? There's more to life than the big bucks. There's that other more important thing, which is how are you living your life day to day? And I love that. And also, Christine is now to that point where she's backing off a little bit. She's got this business working for her. And now without working as much, she in fact took the first, she's taken off since, I don't know, I think maybe she said something about like maybe 6 months of the year. She worked in 2021 and it was still her best year ever. And she increased her earnings from the year before by $50,000. Wouldn't that be a nice business to have, right? And so this Zazzle model allows that opportunity, but you have to create that opportunity for yourself. Okay, so the second person is Brandon. And in his case study, what I wanted I want to just give him a little bit of a background story. He is working at a very high level business job, corporate, where he has very big restrictions on when he has free time. But certain months of the year are a little bit less restrictive for him. And so he's actually not on Zazzle consistently all the time. But when he is on Zazzle, he's very efficient and he's like dogged, determined. And because he has a really big goal in mind, he wants to retire early. And even though he's making a lot of money in his other job, he wanted something that was going to create this passive income for him to have once he retired, that would continue to be at the level that he was making with his job. And so let's do it. Let's bring it on. So when he talked to us in 2017 and joined the Profit by Design Academy, his history was that for 5 years earlier, he had been doing this on his own. And he had tried on Zazzle. He tried to sell photography, started to try to do stock photography type work. And it just wasn't giving him the money levels that he wanted. He wanted 6 figures a year. And so when he approached us and said, well, how come you're making $1 million? How come you get $100,000 years? And I'm not, and I've been on Zazzle for 5 years, and every year I only make about $500 a year because that's all I can do. And it's like, why is this not working for me? And so obviously, there was some issues with Brandon in terms of him not really being a creative. He was definitely a photographer, but he wasn't positioning his photography on the Zazzle platform in the best possible way to completely leverage how the Zazzle customer appreciates having a photography products. And then also what happened was, even though he he still is a photographer, a really great photographer. However, he realized the potential of earnings outside of his comfort zone of photography. He realized that all he had to do was buy some graphics and learn from the Profit by Design Academy how to do proper designing on the products. And then he could open up this huge doorway of other options for him in terms of what designs he was selling on the platform and what markets he was reaching, like what niches or niches. And so he did that and made that decision. And now he not only has been with us since 2017, taking the Profit by Design Academy, same with Christine. And then he took our mastermind, and then he's doing one-on-one, just like Christine. I think it's really important because the core teachings of the 5 strategies is in the Profit by Design Academy, and we give you that support to implement it as well as to help you grow your business and basically coach and mentor you as you move forward in all the stages of your business. Then there is the opportunity to go deeper in terms of business execution and creating that 6-figure plan, which is the Creative CEO Mastermind. And then the opportunity to then get one-on-one where we can dive deep into each person's, and especially in Brandon and Christine's cases, look to see what we can leverage even more effectively to scale it and make it like 5-10 times. And that's what we've done over the last year with them. And that's why they're seeing such a huge improvement in their sales, even though they're already at 6 figures. And so the starting point is the Profit by Design Academy, especially if you're just starting out here. It is the one key piece that will get you going and get you there faster than anything else that you would try on your own, because Christine for 2 years only made $130, and Brandon for 5 years on Zazzle only made $2,500. But now that he's been with us for 4 years, he's made over $330,000, which is wonderful. And on top of it, in 2021, he earned over $150,000 for that 1 year. And that's, again, the royalty payout and the affiliate payout. That's not the sale. So in total, both Christine and Brandon each have sold over $3 million worth of Zazzle products. And then the payout is at around the 10% mark. And because that's what they set their royalty as. And so they've each made over $300,000. And kudos to them. That's their lifetime earnings. That's what they've done over 4 years. Obviously, in the first couple of years, it was not as much. It was in the 10,000 or low thousands. And then they gradually built up, which is very predictable and very you should assume that, because you can't just start with like a huge 6-figure business right off the bat, not in the Zazzle platform anyway. And we always try and continue to make it even faster, but assume a couple of years. And because it's not that easy, it's actually, even though I make it easy, that part of the process is already a lot of work, especially for someone who's completely new and doesn't really have any experience in the whole thing and doesn't really understand the Zazzle marketplace and doesn't understand how to do the work and be more effective. And then even just the nature of the process, right, is if you post a product, it might take up to 2 to 3 months for it to be integrated into the Zazzle marketplace. And so as a business owner, you have to deal with that and expect that and put that into your business strategy. But then ultimately, once you do that and it's done properly and it's in the marketplace, then it's in there forever. Some products that I made in 2008 are still selling for me. And over the years, they have become like one link, one product has made me like tens of thousands of dollars. Or even one design that I put on multiple products that's just the same design, but on multiple products together have created a very big amount of my total earnings. And so if you get those runaway bestsellers, you are more than happy to initially start out with a slow progress and then build, and then it has an exponential growth at the near the next couple of years after you set up the basics and the pillars of your foundation of your business. Okay, so let's recap. The 2 ways that you can make money as a non-creative on Zazzle are by doing royalty income and also by having affiliate income. The affiliate income is easy. You just promote other people's products from Zazzle with your particular affiliate link, drive traffic back there, and make 15%. The royalty is a little bit more complex, but it's actually much more lucrative, and it requires you to find a way to do creative things, even though you're not a creative. And we have proof to people that that is possible, and actually they become quite high income earners because of the training that they got and the help that they got and the strategies they took to get there, even though they weren't creatives themselves. So, and those strategies involve not only maybe hiring a graphic designer for a reasonable amount of money through something like Upwork or Fiverr or any other platform where you can hire someone per hour, or you can make an arrangement per design, and you can work that out and get a very reasonable rate for people to create designs for you. And then hopefully with the research that you're going to do and the strategies that you're going to take to decide what designs you want to make and have pay for, then when you sell those, they should return on your investment many-fold, right? The same goes with when you buy graphics from people who have already set the graphics up, and now you know that they're trending on the Zazzle marketplace. So there's nothing stopping you from buying those graphics as well if they're available, and they're, people, the seller has allowed anyone to use them on the Zazzle marketplace. Yes, and so you can use these graphics, which is a lot of what Brendan and Christine have done, and I do as well, and Jen does as well. And it's really broadened my ability to reach more customers, create more sales, create more products. And I didn't have to be that creative to do so. Now, the third thing is, and then sometimes, and the most important thing is, these can all be combined. The third way is to get that design training. And we have the Profit by Design Academy as a way to do that. There's modules that are completely dedicated to design that show you the key pieces that are needed and required to make sure that you are the most successful on the Zazzle marketplace if you do this training. And then the two case studies, Christine and Brandon, are non-designers, non-creatives. They've gotten the training, they've figured out where they can get the graphics, and they know how to run their business, and now it's paying off for them 4 years later. And even Christine at 3 years later, she's already at 100,000, and then the next year she made 150,000. Brandon in 2021 made 150,000. And my last little tidbit, which I hinted at the beginning, was that today he sends me a text and he says, this is going to be a $2,000 day, right? So that means that on this day, he's making so many sales that he's going to end up with a commission of $2,000 for just this one day on the Zazzle platform, which is really exciting. It means that his business is continually growing, and it gives him the opportunity to not have a ceiling on how much he can earn. And then once he decides not to work as hard on this, because when he wants to retire, he doesn't want to work on Zazzle so much. And by the way, each of these people, because of their jobs, are really not very able to work 24/7 on their side hustle, the Zazzle business. Instead, what they do is they use our Profit by Design Academy training and sheets and strategies and worksheets and money multiplier and strategies and production strategies and all the things that we've put together in the Profit by Design Academy to be able to work only 20 hours a month very effectively and still build a 6-figure business. And so that's really exciting for them because they've done it. They've done that side hustle. They've gotten to 6 figures. It only took a couple of years, and now they're reaping the benefits, and they can decide to continue to hustle, or they can ease off a little bit and do what we do. Jen and I, we barely work on our Zazzle business. It's sometimes like less than 4 hours a month, and we're still making the money that we want. But if we want to make more, or something happens and one of our products starts to drop off and it's not selling as well, we know exactly what to do. And within a very short time period of posting some more products for sale and creating more designs or filling in another niche that maybe we need to, cash in on, then all of a sudden our earnings go up again, and then we don't have to work as hard. And so if this business model is something that you want and feels really great for you, then you've got to check the links out that we've got in the show notes or in the podcast on YouTube. Wherever you are, just get in touch with us, DM me, wherever you are that you need to reach out to us. We're on all the platforms, and I will be very happy to help you understand how and what might be involved for you to get started in the Zazzle business. And just to prove to you that there is no barrier You don't have to be a creative to make money on the Zazzle platform. And I hope that's come through loud and clear in this podcast. So thank you so much for watching or listening. And we will see you here next week. And make sure you come back and join me as well for every other episode. And if you haven't watched any or listened to any other episode, make sure you binge watch. We've been doing this since 2020. We have a ton of amazing episodes that you're going to love. So take care, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast with us, Jen and Elke Clark.
We hope this episode has given you actionable steps to building your online business that gives you the monthly cash flow you want while working less and living more.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Each review helps us reach more entrepreneurs like you working to create a profitable e-commerce online business.
Follow us on Instagram at Ms. Jen Clark and at Elke Clark, and DM us with your biggest takeaway from today's episode. See you back here next week.